Shout out to the old school, back in the days. Missing all the good times, don't let the memories fade. Shout out to the old school.
Good afternoon, people in Radioland. You are listening to News and Views coming from Radio Regent. This is Jesse.
And Ryan.
Thank you for tuning in today. Today is March
the 2nd.
And we have some new and special stuff happening today.
Yes.
Some things that we haven't done before.
Quick little thing. We should just speak briefly about what News and Views is.
Which I was about to say.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
My lagging professionalism. News and Views is a weekly half-hour long news program for those who want to get behind the headlines, for analysis, interviews, and alternative perspectives from a decidedly progressive point of view.
Each week, we have special documentaries. We will have those in the future. Discussions exploring important stories internationally, regionally, and locally. As in all things Radio Regent, the program is dedicated to inclusivity, diversity, and positivity.
Awesome. So this week on the show, as always, we're going to start with just a spot of weather, and mainly because we have a pretty major weather event forecast for tomorrow, about 24 hours from now.
What is happening? Because I was shocked. The sun just came out, the birds are chirping, and then I looked down on my phone and it was like, there's another weather warning.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I mean, today started kind of not so great, but it is currently in Regent Park. So this is from the Weather Network. I decided to get as local as we can with this weather. Regent Park's weather, wherever the station is currently sitting at 4 degrees, although apparently it feels like -1 with wind at 15K and gusts of 39K.
Okay.
However, well, that's the next 7 days. Yeah, there's a lot of snow coming. Tomorrow afternoon, it's going to start a kind of like unfortunate low pressure system, I think is what's coming. It's supposed to snow a lot. It's going to be 10 to 15 centimeters
All right.
In the evening tomorrow. And I think an additional up to 5 centimeters, overnight. So, not too cold. Overnight tonight, -5, but a bit windy. But then tomorrow, 1 degree in the afternoon, with a bit of snow, but some pretty significant wind as well, 36 kilometers, gusting up to 70. In the evening, 10 to 15 centimeters of snow, as I said, wind at 45 kilometers, gusting to 81 kilometers, and overnight, another potential 5 centimeters, and gusts of up to still 78. So the Environment Canada website actually was saying that there's a chance of a pretty good chance of power outages.
Oh, power outages. Okay.
Yeah. So kind of like stock up,
Yeah. Make sure you know where your candles are.
Yes.
Flashlights.
Yeah. Get some food ready and warm. Unless you have like a gas stove. In that case, power being out doesn't really affect you so much.
And I got to add some things.
Please
be sure to drive safely.
Yes.
Stay warm, dress warm. And for those of you taking vitamin D3 like myself because of the lack of sun, I'm going to continue to take it because it just seems like, the weather is not settled yet, right?
Yeah, it's it's March now, but as I know and always tell people, spring begins in May because there will be inevitably another ice storm next month. So, just cozy up and safety up for potentially the weekend coming.
Sounds good.
There's going to be one more at least last hurrah of winter.
All right.
before we're out of this season.
We need to remember to take care of all of our good health and wellness, right? Super important during this time, ending the February blahs, coming into spring.
Yeah, and on that topic, we have a wellness hub and cold and flu clinic. Oh, speaking of wellness, I'm having a bit of a vertigo episode right now. So if I suddenly fall over and stop being able to do this, I'm going to need Ryan to come and save my butt. By which I mean keep this show going. Regent Park Community Health Center is running a wellness hub ongoing, we think.
Right.
It's been going on for the last month at least.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's still going on. It's a cold and flu plus COVID clinic for people with cold-like symptoms. Which they list as fever, cough, sore throat, and runny nose.
Right. And that is at 40 Oak Street in Toronto, East End.
Oh, right there.
Yeah.
I passed it through on the way here,
Cool.
but I didn't pass. I don't know what address I was at.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is Wednesdays, which is a walk-in only, which is cold, flu, and COVID testing and treatment, which is from 3 to 6 p.m.,
Mm-hmm.
which is at the address that Ryan just mentioned.
Yes.
Shall I keep reading?
Please do, because there's another address.
Yeah. The second one is 465 Dundas Street East, and this is, I think, is the actual RPCHC building. I think 40 Oak Street is something else. But that's for walk-ins as well as appointments, and that's not for testing and treatment, but this is for catch-up vaccines for either the flu or COVID. And it's not too late. Flu season is ostensibly mostly behind us, but especially if you're seeing vulnerable populations or are part of that subset yourself, never a bad time to get it. Do you get the flu vaccine, Ryan?
I do get the flu vaccine. I got one. I feel like I got so many vaccines over the last couple of years, months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year I got, the winter before this one, I got my first flu shot in forever because I'm like, usually I don't get it. I'm fine, but this is not a world anymore that I want to mess around with.
Yeah. Well said.
So to book appointments, if you're wanting to book one as opposed to walking in, you can leave a voicemail. I guess that means nobody will answer. At 416-364-2261, extension 2306. And staff will work with you to explore options that may be available to you to access various health, social, and support services. Oh, so it sounds like they offer maybe more than just vaccines.
Yeah, and what I also like, Jesse, is they say that if you don't have a health card, you don't have status, you're uninsured, we may be able to help.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, people are encouraged to check out regentparkchc.org, and there's more information and help there.
Yeah, and lastly, there's a second day for walk-in and appointment flu and COVID vaccines. Although this one doesn't specify catch-up, I don't really know what the difference is there. But anyway, this is at the initial address of 40 Oak Street, and this is between. Oh, sorry, I didn't mention the times actually for the previous one. I don't think. The Thursdays at 465 Dundas Street East. That's between 1 and 6 p.m. And the Saturday ones are between 9:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. So that's in the mornings to the very, very early afternoon. And for the Saturday clinic, you can scan a QR code to book the appointments, but only for the Saturday clinic. Okay. So it seems. That's interesting. For more information about this and one-on-one support to speak to clinicians or staff, you can go to, oh my God, a very long website.
I just picked the beginning, which is definitely Googleable.
Yeah. But if you are in front of a computer right now or have a photographic auditory memory, that's regentparkchc.org /
Yep.
COVID-19-vaccine-clinic / again, which I guess maybe I don't think that's actually important, that second /. But yeah, that's something going on and
cool.
Something probably worth checking out.
Other things going on and fairly local and check-outable are on Saturday. Just found out about this one. It's a father and daughter run.
Every Saturday, no less. I'm just noticing that every part.
Yeah. So it's people will meet up at Broadview Station. Warm-up starts at 4 p.m. because, as you may or may not know, warming up before running is essential or helpful. I've gotten a cramp before from not warming up.
Nobody wants that.
No. And a little advertisement says, come together or alone. Free. No experience needed. Rain or shine.
Wow.
No age restrictions. And bring a stroller and run. So that's cool.
So it says come together or alone, but it's a father-daughter run. So can you just go by yourself as long as you are a father or a daughter? Is that how this works?
I think that's how it works. And I think I would also assume that you can go in allyship and support of fathers and daughters.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, wholesome. So this is at Broadview Station. We don't have any further details on where exactly, but
at Broadview.
I'm assuming if you're, at Broadview Station at 3:55 or whatever, you'll probably, the color scheme of the little thing that we're reading is a kind of teal and pink. Is that the right color? Is that teal?
Yes.
So maybe there will be some signs or people wearing those colors, perhaps. If not, hopefully it's not too difficult to find, but I'm sure you can just also, again, assess our Lord and Master Google to find out more information.
Yes.
There might be, because this is all we have at the moment. We're giving you all we got.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so those are the community kind of pieces. We have some more community-ish news pieces as well. Would you like to get into the first, or whichever will be the first of those, Ryan?
Are we talking about the auto thefts?
It can be whichever one we like.
Okay, why don't we go on about some auto thefts? Unfortunately, they've been going on in downtown Toronto, and February 23rd, there were many reported. One auto theft was right in Regent Park.
Yeah.
They're basically being reported in Old Toronto. I think, unfortunately, crime and theft and robberies seems to have gone up a little bit during this period. So people are to be vigilant and mindful. What are you seeing over there?
Yeah, I'm just seeing that in so far this year, which has only been happening for 2 months, there have already been 8 auto theft reported just in East and Danforth, which is, a geographical area slightly larger than where we are right now. Actually, is this even the right... Oh, no, sorry. There's a different area. This is just Regent Park. There have been 3 just in Regent Park. That was East and Danforth, which is a bit further afield from where we are at the moment, sitting here in Daniel Spectrum. However, there have already been 3 this year, which is
crazy.
More than one a month, which is like, I don't know. You think about the severity of stealing a car. Like,
no, I know it's crazy. I did a little research on this. Do you know that if your car gets stolen, you actually might not get it back? There is, because what they're doing is they're bringing the car to a chop shop and basically stripping it down, making it look different. And so people's cars are actually going forever. Sometimes they get them back, but not always.
Yeah, so they just make it unrecognizable so that somebody could literally see your car, but they wouldn't not have any idea that it was the car being stolen.
Or they sell the parts.
Shoot. So yeah, lock your doors, as my bandmate used to always tell me in his janky old, I don't know, early 2000s van that didn't have auto locks. Okay, so that's one thing. There was... Hold on. Where'd that go? This one. Let's counter that not so good news with some so good news.
Tell us, Jesse.
So the federal Liberals are investing $1.5 million to support mental health of Black communities. Wow.
That is a very good step.
Yeah, surprising, honestly, that it's happening, and not surprising that it took this long. I guess good that it's happening.
Good
finally.
That it's happening, especially when we have, a lot of negativity and, I hate to say it, prejudice within the police force.
And, I was just going to say also, coming off the heels of Black History Month, this is a good thing that this seems like it happened, just a few days ago.
Cool.
This announcement was made. And hopefully it wasn't just an announcement, but special part of this is interestingly enough, all of this money looks, at least based on the report that we're seeing from City News, is only going towards 2 organizations. One of them is going to be receiving $1.1 million of that money, which is Black Mental Health Canada.
Yes.
I'm not familiar with that. Are you?
I'm familiar with it. Have never worked for them, but I've heard of it.
Are they like a centralized location that kind of offers satellite services, or are they like a thing that exists in an actual physical space somewhere?
You know what? My mom works in social work, and I know of that agency or group through her. I know no other information.
Okay.
So I'm just being honest.
All right. Well, it's better to be honest with a small amount of information than dishonest with a large amount.
Well said.
In my opinion. But anyway, the second part is that the other portion of that money, $400,000, is going to, I don't know if I'll be pronouncing this correctly, Wanasah, WANASAH, which is Mental Health Services for Black Youth, and they are a Black-centric trauma response community located right here in Regent Park.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's important that mental health has funding. It's kind of like mental health is the silent killer, essentially. I
mean, sometimes it's not so silent, to be real, but it's the ignored one, I think.
Right. That's what I mean. It's not talked about,
Yeah.
Sometimes, especially within certain communities.
Yeah. It's like, it seems weird to me the way that it has been long neglected.
Yeah.
But I guess also not that weird, considering in this province, dental is not covered under provincial healthcare.
Right.
And that's your physical body, right? And they're this is just a part of your physical body, the health of which doesn't need as much attention as the rest.
Mm.
So like considering that, it's like actually not that weird. I guess that's something that we can't even like see,
Yeah.
and like statistically quantify easily or whatever. It's like that's totally just
it's all
shoved in the margin.
connected.
Yeah.
Mental health is crucial. Mental health informs our physical health.
Oh yeah, and like vice versa as well, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
We're not gonna waste. I'm not gonna let myself get into a bunch of philosophical mumbo jumbo about
Right.
where the mind is, but like.
Right.
It's somewhere in this, right?
Yeah.
So please help it.
I will definitely say that some communities are terrorized by police organizations, and I got to report on this one. This makes me so infuriated.
Do it.
Rick Shank is a city police officer who was promoted to superintendent. Now, during one of the stay-at-home orders, he was assigned to and is now head of the professional standards unit. This police superintendent is, I don't know what to say. In 1990s, he killed 2 black men. He was acquitted of that. And yet he's been hired to be in this top role. And a lot of people are upset about it.
Rightly so, it sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, I want to do a little bit more research on where the killings of these young men happened in the 90s. But it seems that the city police service board approved the promotion of Rick Shanks, but they didn't look back in his past file. Like, this makes me so angry.
Yeah, like, I mean, how can something like that just be ignored?
Oh,
like,
man.
It's like, have you as a police officer killed a person ever? It's like, it's kind of significant, right? Like,
right.
Whether or not it's like an episode of kind of like. Well, should I just call it what it is, or should I just call it what I say it is?
Go, speak your mind.
Whether it's outright racism or not,
right?
Like, whether it's like a racial killing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel, I mean, maybe this is just an outsider's opinion, but like, I feel like when a cop kills somebody in general, like, that's kind of a big deal, right? It's like, were you like doing your best, to serve in the line of duty, and this was like a situation that could not be avoided,
right?
Were you totally not in the wrong, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, that's still significant. Like,
right.
Ending somebody's life as a law enforcement officer. So like the fact that this is like a contentious thing with like racial aspects as well.
Yeah. It's pretty big.
How?
Gotta also say, Waleed Khogali Ali of the Regent Park Neighborhood Association said at an unrelated press conference that he was concerned Shank's assignment didn't reflect the sensitivity to systematic racism in the police force that former Chief James Raymer showed in an apology last year. So
James Raymer not the chief anymore?
No.
Oh,
so
my.
lots of things and issues happening. Now, I am sitting here and I'm feeling funny because I've got this amazingly creative and knowledgeable human being sitting next to us, which we didn't introduce.
No, because I mean, if you're watching in the future, I guess, or the future from now, you will have been seeing this human being just, sitting patiently and waiting for us to get to the point of the show in which we are going to get into this topic.
Yes.
But I think now is indeed the time, because we have already run up about 2/3 of our show time.
Okay. So YSM, Yonge Street Mission's Coldest Night of the Year walk recently happened. And our friend Dylan here took part in it.
Absolutely. So yeah, this past Saturday, February 25th, I was invited by the Yonge Street Mission to cover this year's Coldest Night of the Year event, which was facilitated by Yonge Street Mission and hosted by St. Paul's Church on Bloor. So I took this opportunity to walk in the shoes of those experiencing homelessness and hunger as people nationwide gathered to walk in solidarity wearing their hats. The Sinoi toques actually I'm wearing right now.
Oh, yes.
so
Those of
cool.
you listening can't see. I didn't even realize that until right now. Wow.
Nice too.
Thank you. So this is this year's version of the Coldest Night of the Year toque.
Okay.
Cool.
Dylan, did you want to introduce yourself? Like, we kind of went straight to the thing, but yeah, that's fine if you don't want to, talk about you.
Yeah, sure. Well, I guess I'll do it quickly. My name is Dylan Woolakut. I'm a current placement person at Focus Media Arts for the next couple weeks. I started a couple weeks ago.
Oh, short placement.
Short but sweet. And yeah, so...
Yeah, Dylan, I should also mention, has written a really cool radio play, essentially about the unhoused population. And what we're trying to do, today we recorded a snippet of it. We would like to eventually put it on here as a little bit of a radio drama. So stay tuned with that. I do want to read my little section about the coldest night of the year. The coldest night of the year is a winterific family-friendly walk to raise money for local charities serving people experiencing hurt, hunger, and homelessness. Team up, fundraise, walk, and gather for good because it's cold out there.
That's right. And so this event was featured by a variety of speakers from the Yonge Street Mission, including Angela Solomos, who is the Vice President of Philanthropy since 2016, Eleanor Edwards, who's the Community Engagement and Fundraising Specialist, Lee Katerberg, who's the YSM Vice President, Melissa Khogali, who was the YSM Dream Team Captain for the walk that happened on Saturday.
Dream Team. Sorry.
And Angie Peters, who is the President and CEO of YSM, as well as Jason Farquharson, who it is for the past 7 years at the Evergreen Drop-In Center.
Cool.
So this happens to be YSM's 13th year of participation in this national event.
Great.
As one of 182 other charities walking and raising $12 million nationwide for people experiencing poverty. So the Yonge Street Mission's goal of $160,000 was almost 90% fulfilled on the night of the 25th.
Oh, wow. Gosh.
And donations will continue to be accepted throughout the month of March 2023 as we march in the name of hunger and hurt.
That is so cool. See what a walk can do?
Yeah.
Right? Like, this is amazing. That's a fair amount of money raised.
Absolutely.
Does this... Oh, sorry. I was going to ask, does this event happen in places beyond Toronto? Because this is really familiar, and I can swear this or something very similar and or connected was done in Peterborough, which is where I did my undergrad.
Absolutely. So if you visit the website at cnoy.ca and search for your location nationally, this can be from BC to Nova Scotia. If you search on the website at cnoy.ca and you search for the Yonge Street Mission's fundraiser page in the Toronto Downtown Yonge section of Find Your Location.
Oh, there's Peterborough. I'm on the site doing this right now.
Yeah, so you can find for wherever you're living in Canada and even into the States as well, I believe. There are neighborhood by neighborhood organizations doing the same thing that happened here. And there are those organizations. You can choose which one you'd like to support for their goal. So you have another month, the whole month this month, to visit that website and find your location, find your organization nearest you, and just make a donation.
Cool.
And so if I can also mention, aside from the event that happened on Saturday, Toronto has about 500,000 people who are impacted by poverty annually. And 2022 broke records of visitors to food banks as over 2 million visits were logged. And now inflation and rising costs of living make it even more difficult for those already living in poverty and threatens to bring many more below the threshold. Now at this event, we had an outstanding show of support with over 335 walkers and so many donors.
Wow.
And we had one very special captain of the YSM Dream Team. Her name's Melissa Khogali.
Who you mentioned earlier.
She is a community member that has received services through Yonge Street Mission. And I also have received services through Yonge Street Mission over the past 10 years. So she was one of the speakers. And the reason she was walking is because she was homeless, like I was myself as well at one point. And because of Yonge Street Mission, she had somewhere to go to get support when she was hungry. She had a food bank she could rely on when she needed community support. She found community members were there for her. So if you feel like there's no one there to listen to you, if you feel like there's services that you could benefit from, I encourage you to visit the Yonge Street Mission website and go ahead while you're doing that and visit cnoy.ca and choose your local neighborhood and make a donation.
Respect. Cool.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
I was seeing, I don't know if this is true of the, this is like totally incidental, just personalizing this a little bit. On the Peterborough page anyway, the toques are only awarded to those who raise $150 or more. Is that the same for the one that you participated in?
So the one that I participated in, I was covering the event, but I still would like to make a donation myself during this month. And I hope to make that donation within the next couple weeks.
I'm assuming like most of the people who walk, they like, maybe you already said this. I'm still like my brain's a little fuzzy from the earlier episode. But like one kind of elicits donations from sponsors as a walker, right? You know, it's like, hey, I'm going to do this walk. Will you kind of sponsor me for $10, $20, whatever? That's like how the people who partake kind of in the walk itself raise the money, right? And then beyond that, you know, throughout the current month of March, you can continue to donate in like just a donor capacity, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. Awesome.
Very good. I'm so glad that you came and spoke to us about that. Very important.
Happy to be here.
Cool.
Oh, there it is. What a slick piece of apparel. Do you want to like show that off a little bit for the camera for anybody watching? Because
sure. Check this out.
Boom.
Very warm for the upcoming weather events that we're going to be expecting over the next couple of days. Definitely.
It looks much more nice and snug and warm than what I'm wearing right now.
And in addition to doing the walk, YSM was giving out bags to people experiencing homelessness.
Oh.
And I'm not sure of the specific list of what the contents were, but these items were brought to make the evening that we walked a bit more bearable for people who are experiencing homelessness.
Oh, that's so nice.
Very good.
I'm just nerding out looking at the Toque Museum, as it says on the webpage. There's the example of all the designs from all the hats.
Those are nice hats.
Since the inception. It looks like this one is kind of a riff off the 2018 with a little bit of snow and a pom-pom that itself. I'm looking at your pom-pom. Yeah, it's pretty fly. I like it.
I just want to take a second here to give thanks to Radio Regent and Regent Park Focus, which is where we're able to operate out of. And how cool is it that I've been able to connect with you all and you all have been able to connect with me. We got this show. So thank you, Radio Regent. Today's been good.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We still have a couple minutes left. Is there anything that we wanted to kind of
what do you see on the docket there?
Let's see. What do we got? Well, Dylan, any news from further afield than Ryan and I's view that you think might be pertinent for the show?
I can actually compare the amount that was raised nationally to the amount that City Council is using for their next election.
Please tell us.
So
we'll cry probably.
Yes.
But
So just remember, you can still donate until the end of March. $12 million were raised nationally on the night of February 25th.
Amazing.
The council is looking to spend $13.1 million on the next election.
Sometimes all you can do is laugh, even if you're very sad. Let's beat that target, people. Nationally, we can raise another $1.1 million and like spend more on a much more worthy cause. Not to say that, you know, a city doesn't need a mayor, but like, does the city need to spend $13.1 million?
Wow.
Finding a mayor. Shoot.
That's thank you for highlighting that. Bringing it also back to the YSM Yonge Street Mission, are there going to be events happening this summer or in fall geared towards the unhoused population or the work that YSM does?
To my understanding, there is always something happening to support people experiencing poverty and homelessness. So I would encourage people to go to their website, not only to look at ways in which they can be of support, but also ways in which Yonge Street Mission is continually expanding their supports to branch out to more than just people who are unhoused. They do have an employment service. They have many different resources within their locations for daycare, for food banks, for clothing, and preparing to become ready for work. They do offer some programs such as the YJC program, which is for youth from 16 to 29, I do believe.
Okay.
It could be 16 to 24. And then there is another program in which I took part in, which allowed me to be here at this placement, which also gave me the skills and prepared me for being in situations like this in real life job situations.
Yeah.
So they'll connect you with counselors, they'll connect you with job coaches to find what works best for you, what your passions are, what your hard and soft skills are, and then they try and direct you to a job that would showcase your skills.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that with us, Dylan, and coming on and telling us, you know, all these great things. And
he's our first guest.
Yeah. Oh, and thank you also for being our first guest, although this is not your first time in the studio during an episode.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Hopefully you can come back again before your time here is up. But with that said, our time today is up,
Hmm.
and this has been News and Views broadcasting on through Radio Regent from Daniel Spectrum in Regent Park. My name is Jesse.
My name is Ryan.
And I'm Dylan.
Thank you for listening today, and thank you for joining us, Dylan, and thank you for the regular support and co-hostage, Ryan.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. So stay safe this mad weather weekend, and we will see you back next week for another half hour of
News and Views.
News and Views. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check out all of our social media platforms. For more information, check out our website.